Hey Proxy, I'm Rook, and welcome to the new series, Shiyu Defense Dojo. I'm kinda excited about this. In this series, we explore Shiyu Defense bosses and talk about their weaknesses so you can have a faster clear time and a much easier time. In this dojo, I ask that you follow these 3 rules. 1. Make sure you read the buffs and enemy descriptions carefully before you make the teams, as they will determine how quickly you can clear. 2. Match the characters that work best with the buff and check their builds. You never know if you're missing a disc slot. And 3, most importantly, let's have fun through practice and learning. Avarus is the first miasma boss we experienced in Shiyu, and quite the healthy one. However, it has a very low stage meter and can be stunned fairly easily with defensive assist and stun characters. Avarus' signature move is balling up and rolling at you. You will be prompted to defensive assist, not parry, 3 times before it falls on the ground, receiving massive amounts of daze. So Caesar's EX move or Yuquan's EX move don't count as a defensive assist, you have to swap to your teammates. You should do this for 2 reasons. 1 is the amount of decibels you get so you can do an ult, and 2, you expose its core when it faints. Although it's not exactly explained what this does, from what I can tell rewatching the footage, I'm doing slightly more damage and daze. What I can tell you is that you need all 3 members who can defensive assist to complete this mechanic in 1 cycle. If you miss time or don't have all 3, then it carries over to the next time it rolls. For the first stun phase, I reserved my support ults for the Miasma shield. If you didn't read the description on Miasma, the shield is based on the amount of hits you're doing and takes more damage from defensive assists, dodge counters, and ultimates. I tested this out with a level 20 Seth, and yes, it absolutely is based on the hits, not the damage or the days, just in case people have that question. Rupture agents ignore the shield, but don't cause it to break earlier. By reading Avarus' description, I know that he will force the Miasma shield after a certain amount of health is lost. Through my testing, it happens around 1/3 of his health is gone. Notice that when I ulted twice, it immediately lost over half of the shield, and Avarus will start doing its upgraded signature by pulling you and prompting a dodge counter. Then it rolls around, and for some the camera can be a little annoying, but a handy way to deal with this move is to run to the closest corner and time the dodge. On the 4th slam, dodge counter again and finish off the shield to purify. Not that bad for a time waster anymore, huh? Now from here, it's the same thing as the beginning and you finish off the fight. 3 more things that I notice about this boss I find helpful to know is that 1, the burn and corruption anomaly effects are very useful, not just for the ult charge, but for the CC and tick damage as well. Just to describe those 2 things very briefly, CC is crowd control, meaning you kind of control what the boss does, and tick damage is little bits of damage that happens over time. If timed correctly, you can delay the Miasma shield or get an extra stun, but it's no big deal if you mistime it. Another thing to note is that it will not activate the Miasma shield unless you do damage to it, meaning it's not time gated at all. It's literally based on its health. So you cannot wait on the shield as a strategy because it's a DPS check. I tried this in 3 separate runs with Kalita, just watching, and it does the same thing every time. Before I move on to Tepes, Teapot, whatever, here's a quick lesson in Mult-Chain attacking. Chopping Sticks left a comment in another video asking me to demonstrate this tech, so if you have any questions in this video, I'll try my best to incorporate them in a future video and so forth. To double chain attack, you want to start with 1 character that's not the main DPS, then chain attack. Instead of swapping again, cancel it. You can do a short combo, then right before the combo ends, you can quickly swap again, press the EX button, but don't hold it if you're on manual chain attack. Chain to your DPS again. There you go. This works with any character, but some do take more advantage over it than others. For example, Kalita with her debuffs because she buffs chain attack damage, or Evelyn's high chain attack damage to begin with. Tepes is another boss that requires timing defensive assist to break its arms. You can impair it up to 2 times to completely reduce their defense and damage reduction. I always run slightly to the corner so it guarantees specific moves. Rushing to stun it without breaking at least 1 arm will significantly reduce your damage. It'll take 4 defensive assists to break an arm. It can cause you to run out of assist points depending on who's on your team. If you do run out, ulting or chain attacks will give you assist points. However, if you didn't know, some characters like Sokaku have defensive assists that reduce the amount of points spent, making it easy to break the arms without worry. On my team, it's Caesar, but other defense characters, as well as the stunner Ching Yi, can do so too. I didn't know that, I was looking through. And because I did that, I now know which characters can do so. So what I advise is that you look through the characters you have, check their skills, and you can check under the defensive skill and it'll tell you right there. Once you impair it, all your points come back and it will start falling on the broken arm it tried hitting you with. In some moves, it'll try to hit you with its tail. This doesn't count towards the arm, impairment, mechanic, whatever, but it will follow up with the arm attack. That attack counts. So if you do end up parrying the tail, wait to parry the arm as well. It's a fairly simple boss once you get the hang of which teams can counter it. For example, Sakaku is a free-to-play option, which is both ice and has that defensive mechanic that I was talking about before. As for builds for both bosses, Proto on your defensive character can be a good choice. The new King set is a great choice for your stunner as well, but I always add 10% on my main DPS since I'll be ignoring the increased defense when I attack. I recommend the Woodpecker set if you have one to spare, maybe even a 2-piece puffer. Supports like Rina and Nicole can be helpful in shredding defense as well. Rina provides a 10% buff for the whole team, and Nicole just shreds defense in general. Astral is good for teams with quick swapping, and Swing Jazz is good for damage increases since you're ulting anyway. So for example, in my run with Soldier 11, Lucy had the 4-piece swing, while Nicole had a 4-piece Astral, so I get the best of both worlds. And there goes our first episode. So Proxy, I hope you start training, and I get to see you back at the dojo. Like, comment, sub for more, and good luck.